Welcome back to the Weird and Proud podcast. It's Sam and
James.
James. Wow, that was sensual. Sensual seduction.
I don't know what happened to my voice. My voice
It
just
died
shut
out.
off. Yeah.
Oh, you finished your cup of milk. James has a cup of milk that he just finished.
Milk's awesome.
Milk. I can't drink milk anymore. It's plain like that. But I'm glad that at how old are you? 44? Still drinks a cup of milk like a little cutie.
Milk is fantastic.
It
Yes, I get the low processed, not
Oh,
quite
here we
raw,
go.
but kind of close-ish.
Love that for you.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, and happy whatever day it is in your world right now. It's a gorgeous time of year, summer, August, when you're mine. So when you pull up and say, get in the car. Who sings that, James?
I couldn't hear one word you said. I could not I thought you were doing an accent for a second.
Meet me behind the mall. Come on, Taylor Swift. Come on, James. Literally, you could have guessed Taylor Swift.
I should have just said Taylor Swift.
And there's a 99.9% sure chance that I would have been singing Taylor Swift. But anyways, it's August. It's gorgeous. Hope everyone's having a great summer. We have another great show for you, per usual. This is going to be a little bit of a controversial show. James and I might get in a fight. We might get canceled. We might,
parts of getting canceled. If, and again, I usually don't know what's going on when we come into these shows.
No.
But if some of the things,
you have an idea of what we're.
If some of the things we
you
were
have an
going to
idea.
discuss, I'm sure there will be people who have
Yeah.
controversial viewpoints on what we're about to discuss.
Yeah. So
get ready to judge.
buckle
Get
up.
your judgy pants on.
Get your fingers ready to comment.
Yes.
Your thoughts.
Tear us down.
Tear us apart. No. If you've noticed, me and James, obviously, we do have a lot that are in common.
James
things
and
that
I.
Oh my Jesus. James and I have a lot in common, a lot of things in common, a lot of things we love and value. But we also have different beliefs about things. There are a lot of things that we also have different opinions on. And we've just been, on a couple of the other podcast episodes, we've kind of gotten into, some of the differences and things that James doesn't believe in, basically, or does believe in. And we thought it would be fun to look up the most controversial conspiracy theories, or like the most popular conspiracy theories, and discuss and debate them. So I did find an article on the most, relevant conspiracy theories going on right now. Obviously, there are a lot that are like insane, but it's good to mention. And then obviously we have some amazing secrets as well, some amazing secret voicemails. So I thought that would be fun instead of a news article, because literally when I was going online to look up a news article, most of what I Google or like have Google alerts for is like weird stories. And a lot of these columns have like weird but true, or like weirdest stories this week. So like New York Post, The Mirror, the
really
Lad Bible,
hard-hitting,
really
factual,
hard-hitting,
really factual-based media. Got it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I see what
and again,
I'm.
like
I
all
see
of
what
these
I'm
are
up
from
against.
TikTok. Basically, it's just like all stories from TikTok.
Am I up against the New York Post and TikTok
you're going up
right now?
Yeah, I'm really gonna be dropping sources on your ass.
So easy.
So many citations. There's like the bibliography is gonna be crazy.
This is gonna be so easy.
I just want to say bibliography. That is one thing too. Like in school, like how they were insane about bibliographies. I haven't said the word bibliography since I was 21.
You did a couple podcast episodes ago.
No, I might have said biography.
We can fact check this.
Okay. I doubt I said when would I have ever said bibliography.
Is this the first controversy? Because I think you have.
Yeah. So yeah, we got a lot. It's gonna be a great episode.
It's already heated. There's tension.
It's already
here.
heated.
The tension
There's
is
tension
climbing.
in the room. It's also 95 degrees out.
I'm glad I had my milk.
Yeah. But you know what was funny when I was scrolling through the weird stories? This news story popped up, and you'll never guess Who
Taylor
is?
Swift.
No. Close.
I just thought you were
This
bringing that back.
TikToker earns her second Guinness World Record.
That I have an idea.
What?
Is she in the room? This room
Is
that
she
I'm
in the
in?
room with us right now?
Yes.
I love just like seeing my own face on weird news sites.
That's I think you posted about it. I saw that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
so
yeah.
cute. I love it.
But yeah, woman goes viral. She did it again. She did it again. The Gape did it again. Widest mouth. For those who don't know, I would assume most of you guys know that by now, that I have the Guinness World Record for largest mouth gape for a female. But I did just get widest mouth. Widest mouth gape. And yeah, they say it's so funny to just like read about myself. Also, like it's no one reaches out to me for comment. They just like I had no idea this was coming out. Like that's what's so funny.
I
It's
think
like people
that is
send
the
it to me
fun.
and they're like, you're in the whatever Daily Mirror or whatever the hell. Daily News or
Well, isn't
Daily
that how
something,
the San
whatever.
Antonio thing even came about too?
Yeah.
They
People are
didn't
like,
even
you're
ask you about it, and there's like a full life size
you're in the
cutout of you.
zoo. Yeah,
It's
there's a cutout of you in the zoo.
crazy.
So it's just so funny. People are wild. But it was just like, people really get confused and think her face is really a filter, but it's not. And she's proved it again. Yo, that's so funny. People are funny. It's just my mouth. I don't know what to tell anyone anymore. Okay, so James, are you ready to conspire?
I was born
Conspire
ready.
about conspiracies. Anything else you want to tell people? I know normally too we do like a weird watch, which I couldn't really think of anything weird. Anything weird that happened to you or anything anything weird you want to talk about before we jump in before we start fighting.
Should we talk about our Netflix list and the list button? Did you know that not only Netflix has this, but other streaming services have it as
Yeah,
well?
you guys. He's also discovered. We talked about this. There was like 2 episodes ago. James was like, "I found a new feature of Netflix. You can save Netflix."
I hope everyone downloaded the new version of Netflix so they have it.
And it's not a new version. Like it's literally been there since forever. We should tell them the battle that we won last night on Netflix. Do you remember the real battle that we won?
I've been beaming about this all day. You want to talk about competition? And
this is a good tale
we're
to
nice
tell
people.
you guys.
Would you say I'm nicer than you? Do you think? I don't know if I'm nicer than you.
I don't know.
I don't.
Depends on what it is.
We're both very nice.
If it's something that like I don't know. There's some things that I feel like you would get mean over versus
like
depends on
heated about.
Yeah,
that's a good one. We should have one of that. What would James get mean over?
Yeah.
Well, we're not here to ruin people's watching and evenings.
No, we are.
Do you want me to lead this one, or do you want to lead?
No,
this one?
lead it, James.
Because I do.
This one.
I love
this
this story. I love this story. We went to go check out the Netflix list last night to watch something.
The new feature on Netflix.
And we had found there was a great thriller mystery movie we wanted to watch. Perfect Saturday night vibes.
Yep.
It was the right time. We had a great night. We ate a charcuterie board. We had smoked a cigar. And then it's time for the Netflix.
The movie.
And we go, and Netflix says we have to put on another account because too many screens are being used.
And I was like, what?
And you came up with this. Where was it that we had?
Yeah, because I was like, I've never given anyone, like sometimes there are some that I've given my brother the password to.
Yep.
But I'm like, I haven't like given it to anyone recently. But then we remembered we went to that hotel
and we signed into Netflix. We must have left it up.
Yep.
And some people were watching it.
Yeah.
And Netflix would not let us into it. We did go to the secondary profile, and I was able to turn it for a second.
Yeah, apparently they were on the
get
secondary
them
profile.
Off it.
Yeah.
Which then they kicked me off of it.
It was a battle. It was like we were kicking each other off. It was like kicks him off.
Then we had to go in and figure out what really to do.
This took like 2 hours too, by the way. It was like 2 hours later after we finally finished it out. But
we did watch the movie too. But
it felt good to
the most important part was we just deleted the second profile.
Yeah,
and
somehow
then it was
they were
fine.
on the second profile. Anyways, you can go on.
So we felt bad for maybe ruining some people watching in a hotel.
Yeah, there are definitely some people who are like, "What the fuck?" Like we're just like,
they just wanted to watch Netflix, I'm sure.
But yeah, finally there was a way, obviously, to reset my password and then kick off to anyone that was in my account already. So, anyways, but it was fun. We were battling. We were like, we must
It was a
win.
good
But
time.
it was a time I'm like, it will not let us
No
on, and we
one.
kept getting kicked off. That was so weird. That was crazy. I was about to cancel my subscription. I was about to get Netflix on the phone. But we
You
figured it
did
out.
try calling customer
I know,
service.
and they were available 24/7. By the way,
Good for
Netflix
you,
available
Netflix.
24/7. Gotta love it. Anyways, that was that was our Saturday
That was
night
the peak of Saturday
battling
night.
these poor people who were just trying to watch a movie on
Yep.
vacation. But it was mine. I'm paying for it, you know? Anyways. But we did watch the Untold Jake Paul. I think that was pretty good.
That was good. I like the Untold, all of the Untolds.
Untolds are done
They are
so well.
all fantastic, and they're about sports, which is what I love.
Yeah, and it's always about someone I don't really know. I really did not know who Jake Paul was, to be honest. I've heard of him. I've heard of some of the controversies, but I don't follow him. I was never a YouTuber kid. You know, like I feel like there are some kids who literally grew up watching YouTube. And I never really was on YouTube, funny enough, or Vine.
I just know who the Paul guys are more so from the fight scene.
Yeah,
these
from
days.
the
That's
fight.
how I know.
Oh yeah, you guys see Prue is in the screen too. If you're watching, Prue is right next to me,
Boo boys.
being so cute. She's tired. But it was really interesting. I learned, you know, a lot about him that I didn't know, and he's obviously had a lot of trauma in his life. Like his dad was very abusive, so he says allegedly, to Jake and Logan, and it was just a really interesting story and kind of inspiring, if I may say.
Absolutely. They went for it. They figured out what they loved. They started shooting stupid home videos, and then they put them on YouTube. Like starting in like 2013 or 14.
18, they bought like an $8 million house or something.
Then by the time they were in high school, they were already starting to make millions.
Yeah.
Like just off of YouTube, because that's when YouTube was blowing up.
Right.
They got this very smart.
So kind of crazy, but yeah. I think it's time to debate. Now that we've gotten that out, we had a big battle that we won last night, James. But I think it's time to battle over the conspiracy theories. Okay, so this is actually, it's on Esquire. They have a 30 craziest conspiracy theories that people really actually believe. And we were just discussing this. That's why it was hard. I didn't want to discuss this ahead of time because, like, you know, we want to really lay it all out on the pod, you know, for you guys. But we were talking a little bit about this one. And this is one that, like, you get really heated about. Where it's like, I really, you know, not heated, but you're passionate.
My version of heated. That's fine.
Yeah. Or
everyone has different levels.
Yeah, right. You're very passionate when talking about like science stuff.
Very.
But the first one is that the moon landing was fake. And listen, yeah, sure. For sure. But I've seen a lot of evidence on TikTok. Let me just say, I believe everything. I am a sheep. Like, you know how everyone says, like, don't be a sheep? I am a sheep. I believe everything. I am extremely gullible. If someone like tells me something, like, I'm going to believe them. Like, this is probably not for the best, but I was seeing some TikToks that were challenging some of the things. The big things that they say why it was fake is the flag was moving in the wind when there's no wind on the moon. There were no stars in the sky. How was there a camera on the moon already as they were landing? You know, there was just obviously everything going on with Russia, like how they were trying to beat them. So they were like, all right, we just got to figure out a way to do it. And that's, you know, another reason why it could be fake. What do you think, James? What's your belief?
The first thing I might have to do is debate the word belief, but we'll get there eventually.
Okay.
I'm going to start with this. Why don't all the TikTokers and everyone who writes about the fake, here's what I want them to do. Go talk to Neil Armstrong. Go ask him.
Yeah, but how do we believe him? He could be lying.
So my question to them would be this then. Who would you trust to fix your car? Would you rather have someone who's an auto mechanic? Exactly. Would you rather have someone who's an auto mechanic, has a lot of video of doing auto mechanic work, has a track record of doing automechanic things and or going into space, and would you trust them, or would you
Mm,
trust the TikToker who
TikToker.
there? Good for you.
Yeah. They're always telling the truth.
So my answer
Can you just
to
can you do me a favor? Can you move your mic down a little bit?
my answer to
Thank you.
is, did the moon landing happen? Go ask Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong and any number of the people who worked at Houston. No,
Mhm.
Houston, we have a problem. Go ask any of them if the moon landing was real. And that's
Okay.
all you really need to do. Anything else? It's fun to have
I
little
don't know.
stories made up in your head. I love a good fantasy journey. That's great.
I love a
You
fantasy
know, it's a
journey.
beautiful that people love fiction books and all that stuff.
Follow the money though, James. Like you always say, follow the money. What if like US just wanted to win over Russia and
Which do you think would have made them more money in the long run?
lying?
Actually getting there or lying?
TikTokers. I don't know. It's up for debate. I think we can call that a truce.
Yeah, we'll
I
call
think
that
we
a
both won.
truce. Everybody won,
Everybody wins.
except our listeners.
Exactly. And I hope everyone's having fun.
And I
Okay.
hope you're not getting dumber while you're listening to this.
No. It's good to listen to both sides. If there's anything that I've
Oh,
learned,
it's real
it's
smart.
always good. There's always two sides to every story. Number 2, the government killed JFK.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, really?
That's not that far of a reach.
Okay. Wow.
It depends on what you define as government.
Yeah, obviously they don't. Yeah, well, that's true, and it doesn't really say, but they think the CIA had something to do with it.
That
The
there's some
CIA
merit to that.
worked with Lee Harvey Oswald. I mean, again, yeah, I believe it.
There's that one.
I believe
That's
everything,
very
again.
widespread. No, that's a very broad statement, government. But yeah, I don't see that wouldn't be that.
Why? Just because he was doing too much crazy stuff, and they're like, he must be
Well,
stopped.
it had a lot to do with where his administration was probably going to go, and
Yeah.
especially after what happened at the Bay of Pigs, and what, again, follow the money on this one. What it wasn't at the time the CIA necessarily, like
Mhm.
they were still a fairly new government agency, but a lot of the money that was going to be happening in overseas trade, what Kennedy wanted to do was really going to, this one is a follow the money.
Yeah.
What Kennedy, in
I'll be
from what I
honest.
remember, was going to be doing was going to really hurt a lot of special interest people.
Dun,
And
dun, dun.
if you buy government, you mean, could somebody somewhere in Congress have known about that? Yeah, I'd buy into that.
Wow, you heard it here first. Honestly, I blacked out after Bay of Pigs. I don't remember any of that stuff. Is that like the beach where the pigs are on the island and you can pet them in the Bahamas?
This is where this debate gets to be very
This is where I'm too
interesting.
dumb.
This is where
this
the
debate.
debate to me is like, I'm so glad we're having this. This is so much fun.
Don't you guys feel so educated? You guys literally, this is a history lesson.
It's like
You're
the New
welcome.
York Post versus the New York Times.
Yeah, exactly. The Earth has been sucked into a black hole. So and this is around like the CERN, CERN, you've heard about that, the European Organization for Nuclear Research. There's a bunch of conspiracy theories.
It's called the
about
Hadron
them.
Collider. Yes.
Oh, here we go.
I've been studying CERN
But
for
yeah,
like
but they were
20
studying the
years.
God particle. Honestly, I went down like this rabbit hole about this because there's all these things about how they know how to do time travel at this institute. It's like underground,
Well,
and they
yeah,
like have a bunch of crazy shit going on.
the theory behind Einstein's time travel is that if you move or approach the speed of light, everything slows down to a certain
Right.
point. So actually, NASA's newest telescope is
Can do it?
partaking in some form of time travel because they're
Wow.
looking at stars that are 13.1 billion years old, and the theory of where the origin of, if whatever belief you want to have, the creation point
Yep.
based on our time system. We're not talking about God versus man here, like
Okay,
creation versus that.
Yeah,
This is it. You wanted to debate me.
I know, but
This is what you get. You're getting me all in.
Gee,
The center
you don't
point,
have to drop so many facts.
the
Okay.
creation point was at about 13.8 billion
So are they
years
doing
old.
13.8 or not?
So
they are.
we're seeing things now that are 13.1 billion years old.
So close enough.
And basically we're seeing the past. So we are engaged in time travel based on that theory. The Hadron Collider, or CERN,
I don't like this game anymore.
does go it approaches the speed of light because it wants to see what happens. It's basically what happens at the level of the sun. It's called nuclear fusion and
Okay.
nuclear fission,
Okay.
where when
James, this is a
hydrogen and
comedy
helium
podcast.
atoms, where hydrogen and helium atoms, so there's only one particle, it's one electron. What happens when they speed up that they hit each other with so much energy that
Okay.
might happen? Now,
Okay, James, you have 15 seconds to
you
wrap up
can
your
you can
point.
edit this point that you want. I'm just explaining what you're talking about and what people that
if you
aren't.
guys,
Again, it's back to the Neil Armstrong thing. Go talk to someone that works at CERN. They're not going to create a black hole, nor can
they're
they
not going
create
to
a
tell
black
you
hole.
anything anyways. Ask someone at CERN. Yeah, they're on TikTok telling.
Go ask an actual physicist then. Fine. Don't ask someone at CERN.
Okay.
They can't create a black hole. I know where this is going.
Well,
This is fun.
This I feel like the battle's pretty even.
We can let the people vote. Call in
Who
with your
won
vote.
the debate?
Who's winning?
So were you on my side or not? Do you think we were sucked into a black hole is what I need you to say. Is there a possibility we've been sucked into a black hole? Because I'm saying yes.
Now, is there a possibility?
Okay.
We
you have
wouldn't
15
know it
seconds.
if we did. Then
Right,
no.
right. Well, that's the point, is that we have no idea.
No.
You don't think so? Okay, well, I
Not
think we
by
do.
our definition of a black hole.
Okay. Sure.
Do you know why a black hole is a
I-
black hole?
No, I just know that it's black
Because
and
there's
it's a
so-
hole.
Why is it black is the question.
Right, because it's so fast that it sucks the time, sucks the color, the light,
Bingo.
energy.
It actually is. It's so powerful. It's the only thing by our definition that we know can actually bring, it's more, in a way, almost stronger than light. And so it does. And that's why
Are
it
you guys having
appears
fun?
black to our thing. Yeah, that's why it's called a black hole.
Well, this was supposed to be like a funny, like, light.
I'd say it's fun. This is fun. I like this stuff.
James is having the time of his life.
This is awesome.
You need like a science podcast where you're like Bill Nye the Science Guy.
I love Bill Nye.
You should, honestly, we should have you be Bill Nye the Science Guy, James Guy the upset.
What did you expect me to
straight
do
guy.
during this? I thought we were talking about stuff.
Yeah, but I need, like, no one knows
You want me to
about
have more fun?
physicist Bay of Pigs. Keep it, like very layman's terms.
It's about as layman as I go.
James is an encyclopedia. It's actually kind of terrifying. Okay, well, anyways, we're gonna get to some more fun topics.
Wait, but
that you don't know
fine,
as much
let
about.
me talk about beliefs for a second.
Wait, okay,
1 second,
okay.
and I'll explain. Never do people talk to try to seem smarter than others. The only reason is just in any belief system, yes, you have to be open to new things. I'm open to any new ideas. And when we get into the aliens, I'm sure I'll be able to explain that too.
No, we're not even discussing.
We're not even discussing them. Yes,
Well,
with
kind of.
beliefs, you have to be open to new ideas. But there needs to be some sort of factual basis to these ideas. And that's the fun part about beliefs.
Mhm.
Is a belief structure can exist, but don't make
what
it
is a
everything.
fact? Define a fact.
Probably something that's been proven and can be repeatedly proven.
Okay, sure. Then show me where they landed on the moon.
Let's go up there. I'd be happy to.
All right. Next one. The Denver International Airport is the Illuminati's headquarters. Of course it is. What do you think about that? Exactly. Where are your terms and facts and sources now? Where's your Bay of Pigs?
That's just stupid.
Okay, well, I believe it.
Is that a fact?
Apparently, this is, like, a lot of people have done it, more just like videos on. There's a lot of the triangles, like the triangle, figures.
The
also, like,
all-seeing eye.
Yeah. That's supposedly that's everywhere. I actually don't think I've been in the Denver. I can't remember the last time I was there.
I've been there twice. It's huge.
Yeah, well,
It is massive.
and when they redid it recently.
They did it away from the city, and it's built in a
Yeah,
beautiful way. It's gorgeous.
but it's supposed, apparently there's a lot of creepy things around the Denver airport. So you don't believe it? I do, and
so now you're
stay
winning.
vigilant.
Are you winning
And
now?
I'm winning. All right, we have to go through some of these fast because we're going to be here forever.
Okay.
I'm going to skip through some of the stupid ones. Like one of them, the Earth is
Well, when you
hollow.
talk about CERN, I love that sort of thing. Like,
I know
you're getting me here.
He's like hard as a rock over here. This is one that I think we really do need to discuss. The world is flat. And obviously it is, because no one can really prove that you've seen a sphere. And why wouldn't we fall off the edge if we were on a ball?
Did you know that flat earthers actually
Are
proved?
dumber.
Yes. Did you know they actually proved that
How
the
dumb we
Earth
are?
is round?
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
I was looking up a whole article on it.
Yep. They tried to do the light experiment where if there was a curvature to the Earth, after a certain number of miles, if you shot a laser that was going to go straight, you would be able to hit the same level. So say that you had one thing that was 10 feet high and you
Yep.
were going to shoot it at another thing 10 feet high. If there was no curvature to the Earth, you would be able to hit that thing because they're the same height. This is a
Right.
very rudimentary version of the
Okay.
experiment because I don't have time. Well, guess what?
Yeah.
They
Right.
didn't do it. They proved that the Earth actually did have curvature to it when they did that.
Where are the papers? I would
They
like to
have
see
the
the
papers on it.
studies.
I have.
Send me
Fine.
the studies.
I'll send you all the studies.
I don't believe it because like there's just no way we would fall off if it was on a ball. And like they like Antarctica's everywhere. If you keep going north, you're just gonna run into Antarctica. Like, is there an
Antarctica's
end to
south.
Antarctica? Right, that's what I'm saying. If you go north, you go
Are we going to talk about gravity, or is gravity not
Nope.
involved in this?
Anyways, guess I won that round.
So gravity
Next
doesn't
one.
exist.
Prince Charles is a vampire. Obviously, vampires are real. Obviously, that's true. Bigfoot is real. Obviously true. What do you have to say about that?
Both of
Do you
those
have anything to
things,
prove
both of
facts that
those,
aren't true?
both of those things are more likely than the flat Earth. Both of those.
Well, I don't know. It's up for debate. We'll just,
Every
if we had enough
culture
time, we
has
debate it
stories
all.
of a Bigfoot, like a Yeti, or
Right. Well, that was another one of
there's a
them. Is
lot
that
of them.
the Sasquatch, the Loch Ness monster is on here too. The what was the other one? The snowman, the abominable snowman.
Funny enough, I put all those in my organization system, and again, I'm not saying I'm right. They all exist in the same space that aliens do.
Oh my
The
god.
likelihood of any of that existing, it
Yeah.
could be there. Is there any actual tangible proof? None of it.
Sure. The government has a secret base in Antarctica where they are housing advanced technology like UFOs and time travel. True.
I can buy into that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. See, we agree. See, there are some things we agree on. We're living in the Matrix. Obviously true.
Is that tied into the whole we are in a black hole thing?
I think that just ties into this idea that we're in a simulation.
What would be more fun? Why don't we just get a bunch of these? Like,
People together in a room
yeah. Like,
and
I
make a
want to hear
reality
the
show.
Matrix. I would shut up in a heartbeat to hear
A Matrix
the Matrix person debate a black hole person. Like, that's what I want to hear.
Well, here's another one. The moon isn't real. And that's a flat earther prediction. It's just a projection from the sun. It's not actually real. Here's another one. The Titanic didn't sink. They just disappeared.
I need to hear more about that.
I was trying to look up, like, some of them are so insane.
Is that the Titanic not sinking, going down? Is this related to gravity again?
Yeah, some like these are like some of these are, obviously so believable. Oh, this is fun. Apollo 17 wasn't the last moon mission. Apollo 18 was, but they were killed by aliens, so
But
they didn't report on it.
But we haven't landed on the moon yet, so it doesn't matter.
True. It's all fake. So true. Zombies can rise from the dead. Obviously true. Would you like to debate that?
Jesus did. I don't know.
Yeah, that's my source, the Bible. What do you have to argue about that? Where's your facts, James, that zombies aren't real? Where's your facts? You said you only believe based on facts. So where's your belief?
My facts that zombies aren't real
I
is
saw
we
The Last
haven't
of
run
Us.
into any yet. Those weren't zombies.
Who knows?
That was actually a little more believable. That was a mushroom that takes over. Which mushrooms? There's already spores out there that take over insects. Yeah,
that's true.
Much more believable.
There's a couple of them that, like, I haven't heard. Something about, like, the Betts mystery, where someone found a UFO and then they disappeared. Ooh, spooky. This one's good. Amelia Earhart was eaten by crabs. Apparently, they say that she her plane must have crashed into, like, apparently there's this island where, I know, so I was like, oh shit. But there's this island that is, like, it's taken over by crabs. Like, nothing else can live on it because there's so many crabs that they just, like,
devour everything.
it. And so apparently there's these crabs that are as big as 3 feet long.
Sounds delicious.
Right.
Go make a salad.
Fuck the Alaskan king crabs, am I right? Loch Ness monster, obviously true. This is fun. This is you can't go too sciencey on this. Okay, this is light. You have a minute to debate this, but 5G causes cancer. Like the data. So
Wait, the data?
because on your phone it's like the
Oh,
data, the
now
5G,
I can't
like the 5G
completely.
towers,
I can't. So
and that is one of those things that they don't have a ton of research on.
they talk about it, and there's a lot of overblown stuff on it.
Yeah.
I haven't read anything particularly on
And
that
it's the
one
same
yet.
thing. There's another one that like internet. So like I know some people that unplug their internet routers because they
Oh yeah,
believe the internet routers.
there's a lot of like people, a lot of
And you
people I
believe that?
follow talk about that stuff.
Not enough.
I not
knew the
enough to do it.
facts.
I mean, it's probably not a terrible idea.
Well, it was so funny when we first got flip phones, and this is back in like when I was like in high school. I got my first cell phone, and my mom. There was this rumor. Well, I don't even know how she heard of this, but there was something that people were saying that because back then like there wasn't a speakerphone, like you had to hold it up to your ear,
Yeah.
it would give you brain cancer.
Yeah. There's a lot of those.
And my mom like bought this little device that I had to stick to my phone that was supposed to filter out.
I mean,
whatever.
So the idea of like, let's just talk about radiation fallout, right? There are all this electronic stuff does put out a small amount of radiation in a way,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
It just does. Could it get to somebody who's extremely susceptible or maybe has the start of cancer? Cancer is just cells dividing that we don't want to divide, right? Cancer is happening in your body all the time. It's just a matter of, does it become the bad form or is it just something that happens?
James just knows so much random shit. It's so
And
scary.
just when if those cells are dividing, and if somehow these radio waves did help that, could there be? I don't know. I haven't read enough on that to say that it's doing it.
Yeah.
But
that's a big.
There's old stories of people that lived near power plants and telephone lines. Now we're talking about a hell of a lot more of radio waves than what a small cell phone or a 5G tower is going to put out.
Yeah.
But there are stories about those having negative effects on large communities.
Pole.
I mean, like
Underground
hubs, big power station hubs, like that they put in like warehouse districts and try to put away from people because they know that it may. Right?
Huh.
I'd have to look more of this up to give any actual ideas
Yeah.
for me to form my idea on it.
Yeah. Well, I believe it. I think we're still even right now.
I think you're still up one or two.
I think I actually am up. Sirens are responsible for shipwrecks, obviously. Something about a Black Knight satellite is an alien spacecraft. Some of these I haven't heard of. I'm not going to go too much into this. Apparently, Planet X is actually a world called Nibiru that has a bunch of aliens that live on it that they're trying to keep hidden from us. Queen Elizabeth was a man. Don't know much about them. Oh, this is a very big one. Airplane exhaust trails are filled with chemicals. Have you heard about this chemtrails?
Well,
this is
technically they are chemicals.
Well, right.
Now, wait, I want to hear this level.
So this is people believe that the government is putting more chemicals inside of the exhaust,
trying to get rid of them.
No, trying to put it over Americans so we all get sick. So they're trying to make us more sick, so we buy more into the healthcare system because they need us to stay sick to make money. So they're putting chemicals.
Kind of like he who sells the, what is it?
What?
He who sells the problem sells the cure.
Right. Exactly. So that's a big theory. I have a lot of people like chemtrails. Who knows, you guys? Follow the money, as James always says. Abominable snowman lives in Asia. Obviously true. Oh, vaccines have chips in them. Obviously true. We won't even need you to go into that because we already know that that's true. Yeah, and internet routers lead to radiation was the other one. And that was pretty much it. What do you think? I think I won.
Obviously you won.
Yeah.
There's no questions there.
And I think that was like that like felt like a lot of them. Obviously, there was like a couple other like ghosts are real, like people, like afterlife beliefs and stuff. But obviously all that's true. So aliens are real.
I know I got into science guy mode, but remember,
Yeah.
science guy mode doesn't mean that he's just right. He's just followed the trends,
Science.
the facts. Yeah.
Yeah, James is very much a facts guy. He needs a study on it. He needs a paper. He
But you
needs a
can,
peer reviewed paper.
but you also have the ability to change and adapt real quick
But
if
he
a different
has an
answer
open
comes around.
mind. I
You
would
have
say,
to.
if
You
anything,
have to have an open mind.
you are very, very open minded. Like people are like, how does he go to all these ghost stuff with you? All like the
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like, he's just waiting. I'm just waiting for ghosts to just poof
Yeah, I
pop in
can't
my
wait.
face.
I
Yeah.
would
So we can
100%
finally prove this.
absolutely.
Um so anyways, I hope you guys are still with us.
We lost a
I
lot of
feel
them.
like that was educational though, if anything. Like again, a lot of things to think about.
Are we going to ask our favorite our favorite people on the earth are our listeners,
Yeah,
obviously.
obviously.
Would you, our listeners, please like to call in and comment on some of what you think
Oh
about
yeah,
these
yeah, yeah.
conspiracy
Yeah.
theories?
If you have any thoughts or if there's a conspiracy theory maybe we missed.
Or chime in on what we did or who you thought won.
Yeah, who do you think
The most
won?
important thing in my crazy competitive mind, who do you feel won?
Who do you think won that debate? I think it's pretty clear, but we'll take some feedback.
Where can they call into?
Well, wait, hold on, because I forgot to do this last time.
Oh,
It's time for secret, 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 secrets. The only thing is with that one, like I don't know where it ends, the song.
I don't know if it should end.
If it's like secret, 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 secret. That was pretty low.
When do I get to write a song?
Never. All right. It is that time of the episode where we get to listen to you guys tell us your secrets.
That was good.
Sometimes I just
I
gotta
like
let it go
that.
off the top of my
I
head.
like that one. Like the secrets, like a lot of secrets in a row is good,
sometimes
but
you
then
just gotta
you got to come back with that.
you
That
just
was
gotta
great.
let it riff. But it is that time. If you want to call in and tell us one of your weird secrets or one of your conspiracy theories, you can call us at
Speak Pipe.
That's speakpipe.com/weird and proud pod. SPEAKPIPE.com/weird and proud pod. Jams. Are you ready for the first voicemail?
Excited.
Episode, y'all were asking about foot fetishes. In college, my boyfriend, who turned out to be gay, had a foot fetish, and I had to give him foot jobs to completion. It was a whole thing. But to answer your question, he said it came from Disney movies. He said because in Cinderella, it was all about the shoe and blah, blah, blah. So I don't know. Y'all were asking, where do foot fetishes come from? This boy claims Disney movies.
That is so interesting.
That's one of the most informational things I've ever heard. I loved that. That was great. I would have never thought about that, but it makes some level of sense.
Yeah, like the perfect like Barbie doll foot, like it was always like the perfect petite, perfectly shaped foot. And I mean, my biggest question is a foot job to completion. You got some good ankle mobility, girl. Is it both feet and it's like almost like with your hands, or is it like do you like claw it with one foot?
Or could she just sit there with her feet together and then
And
he just
does
humps
the
them?
work. And yeah, that's pretty. That's a big. I will say, thank God, never had to do a foot job. Never had to. I mean, obviously, James and I've been together for almost 10 years, getting there. Ish, around there.
No, it's right there.
But never had like anyone that was really obsessed with feet. But it feels like it's such a big thing now, and it feels like it is more of a trend. Like I don't feel like 10, like 40 years ago there was a foot fetish, and I was like, maybe was it a thing that just came up recently, and that might make sense that it's Disney movies or movies.
That's a good thought.
Because it just feels like it's more popular nowadays than it ever was. Like I never heard about it until like 5 years ago.
If we're still debating, my thought to that, not that I can prove it. One, I do think that just things, especially over the last 15 or 20 years, especially with the internet, it's just more acceptable.
Oh,
You can
yeah.
find
And you can
people
find
in
more
your
fake
community,
stuff.
and all of a sudden you feel more, right? You
Yeah.
feel more, like she said, her boyfriend was gay. You know what it was like for somebody? I mean, people still
Right.
have big time problems and stress about coming out as gay, even though how much more acceptable is it now than even when I was
Yeah.
in high school,
Totally.
right?
Totally.
And so I think that
That's
it's just more
true.
acceptable for people to talk about, but maybe also less people did have foot fetishes because it was just way more taboo
Yeah. To
to
have like
to
kinks
to
and
even think about
fetishes.
it, right?
Right. And
So they would just
overall.
they'd go kill some people or something. It was a little
Yeah. Just go
serial
kill some
murder.
people.
Yeah.
Um,
Instead.
yeah, that's
That's my
a good
thought.
argument. That's a good argument. Yeah, because I feel like kinks overall, like it is. It's like you hear more about kinks
I think it's more,
overall
I
than
still
just
would think 100% that there were pretty much just as much the same percentages of people interested. You just didn't hear about it like you do now. It
yeah,
just
yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
as acceptable.
yeah, yeah. But thank you so much. Thank you for the insight. Thank you for calling in. That was a great secret. And let us know again how you do a foot job. If you could maybe let us give us some instructions. Maybe James, would you want a foot job?
Good.
But what about my nails, my toenails? It's like teeth. A little, just a little.
That another reason why no, then absolutely not.
All right. Are you ready for the next voicemail?
Can't wait.
So, about 10 years ago, I got my first job serving at a restaurant, and it was a really busy Saturday night. It was a very nice, family friendly restaurant, and the dining room was really busy. I was waiting on maybe a table of 10 people. It was like a daughter with her husband, her kid, like her mom, dad, a bunch of people, siblings, whatever. This woman and her kid. So this woman was maybe about 300 pounds. She was a large lady and she had huge breasts. And her son was maybe, I don't know, about 6 years old. He ate a kid's steak dinner with mashed potatoes, gravy, everything. And when he was done eating, she proceeded to lay her 6-year-old son out on the dining room table in front of the whole restaurant. And she took out her 40-pound boob and breastfed her son after he was done eating his steak dinner, and she made extremely uncomfortable eye contact with me and everyone in that restaurant. And then when he was done drinking her milk, he got up and walked himself to the bathroom. It was very weird and uncomfortable. One of the weirdest things I think I've ever experienced.
That. This is also, I feel like, become maybe again we just see it more because of the internet, but people getting breastfed longer and people
Has
like
to do with,
breast milk,
got to be Game of Thrones.
right? Game of Thrones, or just like in general, like a lot of people believe, which it does, but breast milk has so much nutrients and so many vitamins and natural immune boosters that, like, if you're as long as your kid will have it, or as long as you produce milk, you should give it to your kid. And like like there's been some shows where you've seen like 12, 15-year-old teenagers still breastfeeding.
This is hands down, and it's not a competition, but yes, everything is. It's hands down one of the weirdest calls we've got.
Well,
This one is very strange, but it opens up some really good debate
debates,
topics.
because again, I mean, it's not like it shouldn't be allowed. Like, if she wants to breastfeed her 6-year-olds, go for it.
The way that she described she
But
did it,
but
there
the way
are some
putting it up on the dining room
there
table.
are some socially acceptable. And now here's the part where I can't talk. This is where James won't get involved. I'll only ask questions. Here's why. I don't have the ability to breastfeed.
True. Maybe though, you never know.
I mean, we could talk
could
about
try.
Meet the Parents movie,
Yeah.
right? I got nipples, Fokker. Are you going to milk me? Right?
We
No,
could
but
try.
I don't have the capacity. I can't even imagine it.
You never know, James. Never say never.
I don't know enough, right? CERN, talk about all day. This, I have zero opinion, but I'd love to hear about it.
Yeah.
Maybe even from moms out there. How are you supposed to approach this in society?
Yeah.
Right? what is is there an acceptable way? And if the child is older, does it need to be more private? I don't know these things.
I don't know. I don't know what the answers are.
Because like an
Because
infant,
it's like,
if you're sitting at a table and you're hiding an infant baby in the corner of a restaurant, big deal. Big whoop.
right. Well, even if you're not hiding, I mean, I see women with their tits out, like, I mean, not in like the middle of a restaurant, but like
Yeah. And that should be
in some
acceptable
public
and it
places.
should be okay.
Right.
I think that's fine.
Yeah,
Right.
if the woman's comfortable, it's like, okay,
But
do
they
your thing.
all like laying them out
But
on the
Aunt
table.
lay him on the table. The fact that he was 6, the fact that her tit was 40 pounds.
Here's where
It was a nice dessert. Maybe he just wanted a little extra protein.
Again, as a guy, I probably shouldn't have an opinion in this, but here's what I will say. In a restaurant, I think at no point, if it's a nice restaurant, right? If you're at Coyote Ugly, lay down on the bar, have someone pour a shot, whatever. But if you are in a nice restaurant, is anyone ever allowed to lay down flat on a table? The answer would be
probably not.
Probably not.
I wonder. I feel like that's like a Texas Roadhouse story. Like, I feel like you would see
Where
that
did you
at a Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah, can you?
Also, James and I have been really craving Texas Roadhouse.
Oh, they're
so bad.
None of them are that close
and
to here.
We don't have one that's very close.
It's like a
we might
minimum
have to make
half
a
hour.
literal road trip to go to fucking Texas Roadhouse.
Minimum half hour, and in this area with traffic, it's going to be 45 minutes.
Yeah. It's really depressing. But anyways, thank you so much. That is a fucking weird story.
That was a great story.
And yeah, I love a weird work story, something weird that happened at work. We get a lot of pee pee poo poos, but it's always fun when you have like something weird that like a customer did. There's always something. Customers are always doing
that
weird
is
shit.
Beyond weird. Like that one is.
Yes.
That one is out there.
That's up there. All right, James, are you ready for our last secret of the day?
Can't wait.
Here we go.
This is just straight up stupid. One time I got 2 speeding tickets in the same day, and it was in the same trip. It was like an 8-hour drive, and I was just so over it. I got a speeding ticket 1 hour into it and 1 hour away from home. So yeah, this little speed demon over here.
I can't talk because I've kind of done something similar. In college, I got pulled over for speeding, and maybe like another mile down the road, the cop pulled me over again. He was like, "You're still speeding."
Didn't your dad do the same thing? I swear to God, your dad just told us a story about this same thing.
My dad is also a horrible driver. Like, God bless him. It's like sometimes like that is like the thing that makes me the most nervous. He is like texting and driving, drinking, talking, looking out the window, and going 90 miles per hour.
I'm the only one, but I buckle up every time I'm in the car.
He is the worst driver.
Love
he
your dad
also
to death, too.
Probably
Love
been pulled
dad.
over 1,000,000 times.
He told us his story. He did the same exact thing.
My dad's done it
He
too.
got pulled over and then pulled over later in the same day. Not by the same cop, I don't think.
Yeah, mine was by the same exact cop. He was like, "You literally just pulled out again and started going back." But it was like in a college town, and there was like, the speed limit was supposed to be like 20, and I was going like 40 something, 48, 9, 10.
Which is not shocking at all. Was there a niner in there? Were you calling from a walkie-talkie? What movie is that from?
The cop one.
Tommy Boy.
Damn. But anyways, yeah, girl, I've been there. When I feel like I've just gotten better at maneuvering a car. I'm still a bad driver, but I mean, I have dents all over my car too. Like, what can I say? But when I was like in high school, I've literally probably within the first year of getting my license.
You also told me about the ditch that you backed into.
I backed into a ditch.
Literally,
in my own
your
dad's
dad's yard.
house.
Yes.
I backed up into a ditch on my way to work at Olympia Sports. Shout out to Olympia. Love ya. Even if they're still open, I think they're like closed. Anyways, I think I got into like 7 different accidents.
None of this is shocking.
But it wasn't even like bad accidents, obviously. There would be like fender benders, or like I would run into a pole or back up into a ditch or hit a mailbox or like hit a small child. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't do that. But yeah, it was just. But I also like had a shitty car. Like I always used to blame it on my car. My parents literally got me the worst fucking car. It was like $200. It was like a Ford Bronco from like 1972, and it like the brakes didn't really work that well. Like they were like brakes you had to like slam on. So like there would be times I literally would think I have my foot all the way on the brake, and then I would just pull up, and I literally would had that happen once where I just slid into someone.
Yeah, it's the car.
It's definitely not me.
No, it's for sure the car.
Yeah. So I feel you. James, on the other hand, is the most cautious driver. First of all, he drives a Subaru from 1972.
True.
It has like 185,000 miles on it.
160.
160,000 miles on it. And he goes the exact speed limit.
5 or 6 miles over.
The exact speed limit, which is the exact speed limit. And then if you ever have to stop, like at a stop sign, you know, when like you go to stop at a stop sign and there's no one there, it's like me and my dad call it stoptional. We say, or no cop, no stop. If no one's there and there's a stop sign, it doesn't count. James fully stops, like looks all three ways, waits like 10 seconds, and then he goes. Or even like if a light is green, like has like the green arrow, right green, he still stops, checks around his corners, and then goes.
I go on the green.
No, or you really slow down.
We could ask who's a better driver and then
Who's
check
been
the
in more
facts.
car accidents?
We can just check the facts and look who's got more dents and tickets.
And but yeah, I will say, I mean, I feel
yes, I drive
you
super
are
slow.
A very, very safe driver. But I can't. That's why I drive. If you've ever like noticed, people are like, why are you driving? Like James doesn't want to drive. Like it drives me crazy. I can't be.
I ask every time
because he drives
drive.
like a 95-year-old. He does. He doesn't mind driving. Like I also get really car sick. So like I feel like if I'm driving, I don't get as car sick. And I can't stop at every stop sign, you guys. I can't take
I will
full
stop at
right
every
on
stop
red.
sign.
Like I got things to do, places to go, people to see.
And you are literally saving 0 time by doing all of that.
Or my dad always, you know, we would like if we were like driving late at night, you know, like an idiot, or like driving early in the morning, or like on a road where there's not a lot of people. He will literally, he goes left on red, and he will just like drive through an intersection that like is a red, like you're at a red light, and he just says right on left, and we'll just take a left and just go when the light's red. So funny, but so naughty. Don't do what I do. Don't do that.
Use your
I
blinker.
have prayed my plight. My car is a piece of shit because it has 700 dents in it. But again, it's not like I've never been in like a high speed life. I've never gotten hurt. No one else has ever gotten hurt. They've always been like under 10 miles an hour, or like me hitting random objects, like when I'm backing up, like backing into a ditch.
True.
Or backing into a mailbox. Or backing into, and apparently someone said that Mazda cars, which is what I have, dent really easily.
So again, blaming
it's
the car.
It's not. It's the car. So it's just something to think about. That maybe it's not.
You know, no matter what car you have, if you just don't hit stuff, it doesn't dent easy. Like that's.
But maybe
it's a weird way to think about it.
No,
you don't have
just
to
bounce off.
I'm just throwing an idea out there.
But
something
it's a light tap. I'm not hitting like smashing. I'm just a light tap.
Something for you to consider.
It's a love tap. It's a love tap. I'm just trying to say, I love you, Paul. And just give it.
Showing a little affection.
Yeah, that's all. That's all. Anyways, we've debated. We had some great debates. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this.
I hope they like this one because that was fun as hell for me.
It got a little nerdy, but that's just James. If you bring up anything science around James, he will go off. People don't think James like talks a lot or has.
Rather than me go off, I'd like to discuss it with you. Please bring it up. We'll have a discussion.
If you bring anything up in regards to science, that's when you know he will go off, and he's passionate. What can you say? It's good to have passions and things you're passionate about.
Yeah, that and the Packers and food.
The Packers and food. But that's what's so beautiful about being human is We can agree, we can disagree on things. Life would be so boring if we all believed the same thing.
Exactly.
That's what makes being a human human. We can be weird, we can agree on things, we can agree, disagree, we can hit poles, we can drive 5 miles per hour. It's a beautiful thing.
Have
Right?
your own, find your weird.
Find your weird, find your I don't know, find your pole, find your dent.
Find your science.
Find your science. That was beautiful. And as a reminder, if you want to send us in a weird story, a weird secret,
Or if you want to
conspiracy
vote
theory,
on today's debate.
or if you want to vote on who won the debate. But if you call in, then you have to at least tell us a conspiracy theory that you like. If you want to tell us how you give a foot job, just in case James wants one later, call us in at
SpeakPipe.
That's SpeakPipe, SpeakPipe.com/weird and proud pod. Also follow us on Instagram at weird and proud pod. You can DM if you have like a longer secret or story you want to tell. But make sure too, if you're on the YouTube, speaking of, like, we're trying to be on YouTube, we're trying to do the YouTube thing. If you could subscribe on YouTube, we would absolutely love it. Love it. And it's a pretty premium viewing, and then you really get to see us go head to head, in the debates. I feel like this was a good one to maybe watch. And Prue was here. But we love you guys so much. Thanks for listening and hanging in there. And hope you really learned something today. Hope you're inspired. And we hope you have a great week. We love you, weirdos.
Love you, weirdos.
Bye.